A warm welcome to all of you. It's beginning to look like Christmas soon. The bells will start, and the things that will make them ring is a carol that you sing right within your heart. Families get together and enjoy the eve. Kids wait till morning for Santa to bring them gifts. The tree is surrounded with gifts and lights. The town is scared of the claws with a knife. So come and join me, everyone, on this tragic ride. I'll tell you about the Christmas when loved ones died. I will take you back to a Christmas Eve which shook an entire town and attracted fearful attentions of media, public, and heads of different states. The infamous incident was so frightening that it had a huge impact on the citizens of Velmount town. Do you believe Christmas only brings happiness, peace, and joy? After listening to this horrific incident, you will question yourself just like I did. So I'll be your guide throughout the story and introduce you to this frightful incident which took place decades ago.
After 3 years of causing massacre and murdering 4 people, amongst whom 2 were in their early teens, the cops finally caught the Psycho Santa red-handed who has been terrorizing Velmount town. As per the official information received from police authorities so far, he was caught near Baton Pass Road after killing a 32-year-old gift shop owner. So far, his motivations behind the killing have been unclear. As per recent developments in this case, he has been taken under police custody. Dr. Harry Gray, the renowned psychiatrist, has been appointed for the interrogation.
The police station was encompassed by media and with local people.
Take him inside.
You think you can stop me?
You will be punished for the crimes you have committed.
You can kill me, but this is not limited to one person. Everyone has a bloodlust inside themselves. You just need to discover it.
Officer, lock him up. I need everything to be ready.
Yes, sir. Dr. Gray is yet to arrive, so we are still waiting for him. We will proceed as soon as he turns up.
This cell is not capable enough to captivate me and prevent me from killing fools just like you.
Then a young man, wearing a bowler hat, specs, in a brown suit, a red tie, and an ID card which reflects the logo of Velmount Town Hospital arrives. Then he introduces himself.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gray. Nice to meet you, sir.
Hello. Officer in charge Mark Scholar here. I'm glad that you are on time.
Where is he?
Come with me. Officer, open the cell. Make way for the doctor. So, Dr. Gray, proceed with your interrogation. I'll be waiting outside.
Dr. Gray walked inside the cell, pulled a chair, and sat in front of the killer.
CODY Shipman, right?
Oh, it seems like you have done your homework well. Dr. Gray, right? I overheard them talking about you.
So, CODY, what event inspired the spree of cold-blooded murdering?
I don't remember exactly. It has been with me since the day I was born. The fear in someone's eyes before I'm about to kill them is what made me even more fun.
Do you realize the amount of suffering you have caused to the families from whom you have taken away their loved ones?
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's the satisfaction that calms my soul.
Listen, if we give you one more chance, will you change for the better?
Yes, of course, I will. I will try to change the way I murder people.
The guards inside the cell gripped their guns tightly after listening to all the inhuman words that came out of his mouth.
You are the sickest person I have ever met. And trust me, I have met a lot of disgusting criminals. But you are the one who lacks even a drop of empathy. Which I hope these things will help you in some way. To bring out the human side of you. Officers, bring his belongings.
The guard brought a bag to Dr. Gray. As Dr. Gray opens his bag, he discovers a diary. He also pulls out a red Santa suit with white fur trim, stocking cap, a pair of black boots, a white buckle belt.
Could you bring me those photographs of the crime scene as well?
One of the guard went and fetched all the photographs related to this case.
Sir, the photographs you asked for.
Dr. Gray took all the photographs and placed one in front of him and asked,
As you can see, these are pictures from every crime scene you were involved in. How do you feel after seeing the grief you have caused?
Oh God, I never realized that I caused so much of pain. I am really sorry for that what I've done, but I have one last request. Please let me read my diary once. Please open this handcuff for the last time.
That's not possible.
Please, for the last time, please. I beg you.
Officers, please, I insist. I don't think he can cause any harm.
As soon as the handcuffs are unlocked, he touched his belongings. Tears ran down his cheeks. It felt like he realized all the crimes he had committed. He held his shoes tightly in his hands, with tears in his eyes.
I will be grateful to you forever. Can I shake your hand?
Of course, why not? I am glad you became a better man before justice was served to you.
No sooner than the doctor shook his hand, the criminal grabbed his hand tightly, pulled him towards himself and wrapped his arm around his neck, then pulled out a pocket knife from the sole of his shoe. The officers were baffled. No one could have seen this coming.
Put down your knife and let him go, otherwise we will shoot.
The grip became tighter and tighter.
If you let me go now, the doctor will live to see another day.
He slowly dragged Dr. Gray towards the gate of the cell and threatened the officer to open the door or else the doctor will be harmed. Although the guard hesitated, he eventually opened the door for the safety of the doctor. He was dragging him through the crowd when Officer HILLSON and Officer Scholar rushed to his rescue.
You criminal, leave him alone. We will eventually catch you, and next time we won't show you any mercy.
Just murder someone just like I do. Then you realize how fun it is. You should try it.
He dragged him out of the police station and put him inside a car. Officers were blank in that point of time. They didn't know what should they do. He drove the car and rushed away. Mr. HILLSON and Mr. Scholar, with their troops, got inside their police van and chased him. On that very moment, Mr. HILLSON informed the nearest checkpoint by his walkie-talkie.
Deccan Place Street, am I audible? Can anyone hear me? Over.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Please note the number. JEP234P. It's Cadillac vintage car. Please seize it as soon as it arrives to your checkpoint. A killer is running away with the car. Inform others to block the other possible roads from which he can escape.
Copy that.
And also note that the criminal drove away with Dr. Gray as a hostage.
Roger that.
As soon as he reaches the checkpoint, he saw the cops with their guns ready. And in a hurry, he took the left turn, breaking through the barricade which slowed down the car in the process. In that very moment, everyone saw the right door of the car opens and the doctor fell down. But the car didn't stop. It continues to accelerate. Now the car keeps on moving towards the Deccan River. As the car was about to reach the bridge, a bullet hits the tire of the car. And it lost the balance. And the car plummeted into the river. An officer ran to aid of the doctor.
Doctor, are you alright? Let me call for an ambulance first.
Take me back to the cell. I want to read his diary first.
But doctor, you are injured and you need medical help.
I know. I am a doctor myself. And it's not too serious. I need to read his diary first.
So get in my car.
They drove back to the police station, and as they reached, they opened the cell door. The doctor sprints towards the diary and requested the officer to join him later. What he read left completely bamboozled.
Hello, Cody here. Finally, I found an orphanage, but no one is here talking to me. I feel very lonely here. My dad was Jeremy Shipman, who was an alcoholic and a spendthrift, who never loved me. My mom, OLINDA Shipman, she worked in a theatre as a makeup artist. She was the sole bread earner for our little family.
Go find yourself a job and then come talk to me.
My dad was unemployed and he had his personal demons to face. He was alcoholic and abusive.
I should have never married you. You lazy human.
Oh, really? Well, no one is stopping you. Just get the hell out of my life.
He wasted all Mama's money and savings, and she was frustrated and depressed. I never got a chance to celebrate my childhood like other kids. Christmas, a season of joy and happiness, but for me, it was full of loneliness and sorrow. I never got a chance to celebrate a wholesome Christmas Eve with my family and friends. My school days were as rough as hell. The kids treated me as an outcast. The seniors made fun of me all the time, and every time I stood up for myself, I ended up with bruises all over my body. I remember it was Christmas when my father came back home drunk and ill-treated me for no reason. On that very day, I decided to retaliate. I intoxicated their supper with rat poison. I was repulsed by the way they treated me. After finishing the supper, when they went back to their room, I found them unconscious. After an hour had passed, the whole room was calm and quiet. But everything, it felt like the time stopped for a moment, and the guilt of murdering my own parent started flowing in. But I felt happy. They deserve whatever happened to them. Then I ran towards the landline to call the cops. They arrived after 15 minutes. I opened the door with tearful eyes and said, I found my parents in their room, unconscious. But the case was registered as suicide, and due to lack of evidence pointing otherwise, the case was closed. They did not expect me anything because I was a kid. But I was the only one who killed those devils. Do you think I'm wrong? Now there is no one who could take care of me. That's how I ended up here in this orphanage of Westfield. Dated Wilhausen, Landstrasse 71D 1249. Now I'm 16. No one has adopted me yet. But I made a friend whose name is Pete. Except him, no one loves me here. 15th September. What a lovely day it was. A couple visited our orphanage to adopt a child. I thought it would be me. That to my bad fortune, it was someone else. My heart was beating rapidly at a pace. I feel jealous for that 9-year-old Thomas who was going to be adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Nielsen. I went to the kitchen along with Pete, who distracted the cook. I stepped in the kitchen quietly and took a knife carefully from the cupboard without giving any hint. Pete was busy talking to the cook. After a minute, I came out from the kitchen and instructed Pete to bring Thomas to the backyard of the orphanage to bid a final goodbye. After roughly 10 minutes, Pete brought him to me. I asked him, "How do you feel today? Aren't you happy?" "But what about me?" I knocked him down with a punch. The sound of his agony made me feel better. I couldn't control myself and stabbed him numerous times with a small knife until Pete stopped me.
Cody, stop! What are you doing?
He pushed me and Thomas was dead before anyone could arrive. I handed over the knife to Pete. Then I ran away from the orphanage for permanently. I left Westfield and came to Velmount and started imploring after collecting 2 to 3 Reed's mark. I purchased some food for myself. As I was passing by a newspaper shop, my eye struck on a journal where I saw Pete's picture on the front page. The headlines was in German that a 9-year-old boy was stabbed by 2 teenagers. One of them ran away and another one, Peter Hamilton, was caught. Police is in search for the other one whose picture is given in page number 13. I was astonished. The Christmas season was about to begin, which recalled in my memories. Anyhow, I survived here in Velmount for 2 months. I could not take it anymore. The Christmas season has begun. Velmount has been decorated with lights all around. I see happy faces everywhere. I can't tolerate it. I saw a group of people entering the theatre. I went to a man and asked, "Do I mind if I go in?" He replied, Yes, you may. It's Christmas. It's all about spreading happiness. Of course it's free." I went inside the theatre. It was crowded. I couldn't see anything. I saw a door on my left. After going through a passage, I was covered with curtains to reach into a room where I saw an old fellow sitting on a chair wearing Santa suit. I didn't feel good, I just took out my knife and slit his throat. I changed my clothes and wore the Santa suit and ran away from the theatre. And that's how I continued killing people of this town and started to spread terror in the name of Santa in every Christmas.
Someone opened the cell. Dr. Gray closed the diary and put it beside him. The officer came in.
Doctor, the ambulance is here. Will you please come with us? It is our duty to provide you safety.
What about Cody?
As the car crashed into the river, the police went for inspection. The car was in a destroyed state. As per the current state of investigation, his chances of surviving this crash is slim to none. His body has not yet been found. Maybe the high current of the river flown him far away.
Dr. Gray's mind was in an unsettled state. He feels that something is missing or unfinished. He doesn't feel good. He frowns and looked at the officer and went with him.
How can you guys be so irresponsible? Now, look, I am answerable to the government. So, Mr. Scholar, do you have any idea that how bad you and your team messed up?
My sincere apologies, sir.
For this incident, now we have media and government pressure on us. Not only that, government thinks that we are corrupted, but also you are trying to hide the criminal. If anything goes wrong in this following week of Christmas, you will be held responsible and will be transferred to another town.
Of course, sir. I assure you, nothing will go wrong.
And this marked the end of the Santa who played the role of executioner. Nothing happened in the following Christmas week. The terror vanishes off from the face of the town. The transfer of Mr. Scholar has cancelled, and Dr. Gray recovered from his injury. Almost a year had passed. The government took the initiative to implement strict laws against bullying and putting special emphasis on mental health of the children all over the country. It was end of November. The Christmas spirit was coming back. People believed that this will be a secured Christmas. Everything was going well until Mr. Scholar just woke up and getting ready for his breakfast. Suddenly, he heard a knock on the door.
Who might it be early in the morning?
As soon as he opened the door, Mr. Fezzer rushed in.
What's your opinion on what happened last night?
What happened?
Oh my god. You are not even updated about the incident that took place last night. That's how important our safety is to you. Did you heard that our deputy didn't even know that what happened last night at Bottom Path Road? They were so concerned about us, and as you know that a 20 years old man has been murdered publicly by a familiar criminal, Santa, whose terror was there a year ago, and now he's back, and our deputy has not been informed yet.
After that, they left. Mr. Scholar reached the police station and went to HILLSON.
You haven't informed me yet.
I was just leaving for your house to inform you, sir.
How can you be so irresponsible? Reporters came to my house and bothered me. Can we proceed now? I need to visit the crime spot right now.
They visited the crime spot to examine. They found the murder took place in a similar pattern that was made infamous by the Santa. Police found a Christmas hat on the spot that the criminal left as a signature. HILLSON went and interrogated with the local people.
Have you seen anyone here wearing a Christmas hat last night?
I saw a man dressed in Santa's costume. I'm sure the killer Santa is back.
Do you suspect anyone over here?
On the opposite side of the road, a figure was keeping an eye on them. Without noticing him, HILLSON and Scholar left the crime spot.
How is that possible? It is not possible for someone to survive the crash. And look, a year has passed, nothing had happened. Before Christmas season could arrive, this incident took place.
Sir, I think we should visit the police station first and file the charge sheet and reopen this case.
They visited the police station where a guard informed them that Commissioner will be going to hold an emergency conference today himself regarding this case. After a few hours, Commissioner held a conference where Officer HILLSON and Scholar were present with the other official members who were assisting them in this case.
Government order has came after last night's incident. Mr. Scholar, we need to find Cody anyhow. Look, on basis of assumption, we closed the case previously. Cody is alive, and government thinks that police is incapable of solving this case. For this reason, they've given us a fixed time of 3 weeks to find Cody. We need to find him.
Sir, we are trying.
For constant media pressure, higher authorities published a circular that if you guys don't catch Cody by the given time, they will be appointing other officer in place of Mr. Scholar. And Mr. Scholar, remember this, your job is in danger.
Yes, sir. I assure you, sir, that I will find him by hook or crook. But I think we need another man who was assisting us in this case last year. Dr. Gray. We need him because he knows everything relating to this case. I need his help.
Alright, don't worry, I will talk to him regarding this.
After the conference ended, Mr. Scholar and HILLSON went back to their residence. Scholar was tired after a busy day. He grabbed a cup of coffee and started walking back and forth on his balcony. Suddenly he notices a flash in the corner of his eyes. He tries to search for the source of the flash, but all he saw a dark figure mysteriously disappearing in the dark. Next morning, when he arrives to the police station, Scholar enters in his cabin. He finds Dr. Gray was sitting and reading a journal.
Oh, officer, how have you been? The commissioner called me and informed me about the incident. I was tensed after learning about that.
Good to see you, doctor, again.
So, how may I help you?
During the court trials, you provided the evidences about Cody to the judge that he was mentally ill and he couldn't tolerate to see people happy.
Let me tell you everything I know about Cody Shipman.
He tells him everything what he read in the diary.
Do you have his diary?
Yes, the diary is in my library.
Can I get it?
Yes, sure.
What about Cody's friend? Where is he now?
I think he's in jail of Westfield since last 6 years. His name was Peter Hamilton.
Let's do one thing. We should visit Peter Hamilton in Westfield prison tomorrow. And I will send HILLSON to the orphanage where Killer Santa used to live for inspection.
Doctor left. Scholar was tensed about his job, which was at stake. As the killer chose his victims randomly, it is hard to find who will be his next target. Scholar takes a deep breath and whispers quietly.
Coward.
When Scholar was returning home that day, passing by a grocery store, he felt someone is following him for the last few minutes. As he tried to confront, he walked away and vanishes in the crowd. He suspects, but as the figure vanishes, it was too late for him to take action. Who was it? Dr. Gray and Officer Scholar were waiting for HILLSON to come, and they should leave for Westfield by train. But after waiting for a long time, HILLSON didn't show up. He was late, so both of them decided that they will visit Westfield without him.
Myself, Officer Scholar from Velmount town. I want to meet the jailer.
A guard went in, welcoming both Dr. Gray and Scholar. It was a peaceful environment and old man sitting in a chair, checking a register. The guard introduces them with the jailer. His name was James Siddle.
Glad to meet you, Officer Scholar. Heard and read a lot about your adventurous events and cases in journal and radios. Tell me, how can I assist you today?
Thank you, sir. Is any prisoner named Peter Hamilton is there?
No, he was there, but due to his good conduct, his punishment was reduced to 5 years and he have been sent free this October.
Do you have any more information about him? I mean, where is he now?
He was a nice guy. From what I saw, I cannot think of him as a cold-blooded murderer. Tell me one thing. Why are you searching for him?
Because we suspect him. I think he's just paying off his old scores. Taking revenge on CODY.
James gave them an address of a farmhouse. James told them Peter walks over there. Gray and Scholar took a coach and started moving towards the farmhouse. Scholar was in a deep thought.
You seem to be in a deep thought. What's troubling you, my friend?
If Peter Hamilton is here, then who is doing it? That means CODY is alive. Damn it! Look, I am still suspecting him, but it is not possible for him to travel to Velmount and kill people. It seems impossible now. All the paths are coming to an end.
Don't tell me that you're thinking about giving up.
The coach stopped. He came down from the coach. He notices a beautiful cattle field in front of him. There was a cattleman.
Cute in a bend. Do you know where is Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, you are looking at him.
Sir, do you mind sitting down and have a conversation for a couple of minutes?
Alright, sir. Come in.
They went inside a small hut. And amidst a beautiful cattle field, they moved inside and sat on a chair.
Where were you for the past 3 days?
I spend the most of the time with the kids at the orphanage. And I fund the orphanage with all of my income.
I see. When was the last time you went to Velmount?
No, I never went to Velmount.
Do you mind if your house for a quick search?
Yeah, sure, why not?
After searching for half an hour, they didn't get anything suspicious.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
On that same night, Scholar was at full. When HILLSON returned and saw Dr. Gray and Mr. Scholar were discussing something and informed them that
You were late, so we left for the Westfield. But tell me the reason why you were late.
I had some personal work, sir.
Have you visited the orphanage?
Yes, I visited, but I was not able to find anything of value.
Same here. We searched his house, but found nothing.
He might be really good at hiding evidence.
Or he might just be innocent.
Hilson, I noticed something that someone is following me from last few days.
It might be because of your overwork.
Yes, that might be the reason, but still, be cautious. You were the one who caught him earlier after all. Maybe he's just trying to harm you. Mr. Scholar, I think I should leave now. My patients are waiting for me.
I think I should also leave now.
While returning home, he felt as if someone was following him again. He ignores it and keeps on walking towards his home, and suddenly happens again. Someone took a picture of him and starting moving away from him. He was fed up and ran after him. Crossing the St. Clair Avenue, the figure disappeared again in the fog. Mr. Scholar felt disappointed. After walking 10 minutes, he reaches his home. As he was about to unlock his door, he notices a bunch of footprints in his lawn. He saw a figure standing in his garden. He was going to confront him, but the man pushed him and ran away. Mr. Scholar was determined and ran after him. He loaded his pistol.
Stop, or else I will shoot you.
The figure stopped and put his hands at the back of his head. At last, he confronts him. The man was wearing two-button suit, cashmere field scarf, black dress shoes, and a woolen overcoat.
Who are you?
I am not answerable to you.
I'll arrest you under the ground of suspicion if you don't say.
Then the man pulled out his ID and showed him.
This is Robert Pearson, a government agent, specially appointed by the government for solving this case. You, Mr. Scholar, incapable of solving it.
Meet me tomorrow at the police station.
Next morning, Pearson arrives at the police station. He notices Dr. Gray, HILLSON, and Commissioner were present with Mr. Scholar.
So meet Howard Pearson, a government agent specially appointed for this case.
Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. I'm Mr. Johnson. So, Mr. Pearson, tell me, what evidences have you found in this case so far?
I don't have strong evidences.
For how many days you were following me?
Since last week, when the first murder happened, I suspect two people. I think the killer is the doctor, and I think he is held by Scholar.
Can you elaborate on your statement?
A year ago, 2 weeks after the incident, a body was found in Westfield, came where the Deakin River goes through after passing Velmount. Although the body was not in the state to be identified, I think the possibility of its belongings to CODY SHIPMAN is high. So it must mean whosoever is murdering people knows CODY SHIPMAN very well. So the only person in this room knows most about CODY is Dr. Harry Gray.
But it could be someone not related to the police department.
Yes, Detective Pearson. I completely understand why your suspicions are on me. But the only reason I know so much about CODY is because I wanted to study the mental state he was in.
I caught CODY a year ago. Why will I myself be the type I wanted to destroy?
Although I trust them, for argument cannot be ignored. Let's end it here. I need some time to think.
Dr. Gray, meet me later, but positively.
After 2 hours, another murder took place in a similar fashion. This time it was a young boy left alone at his house while both of his parents were at work. Mr. Scholar and Dr. Gray arrived early at the spot, followed by Detective Pearson and others, but HILLSON arrived late. The detective notices it. After that, everyone left the crime scene doing their required inspection. Suddenly, detective called Dr. Gray and said him to meet him at the evening. It was 4 p.m. They met at Baton Park Street. And then Pearson unfolds his little secret.
My suspicions were never on you or Mr. Scholar. It was Hilson. I blamed both of you to see his reaction.
Well, now that you have said it, it actually makes sense. He was always trying to put the blame on others, even when someone was innocent. And when I warned Mr. Scholar that the Santa might be following him, he said no, it's because of his overwork. And when you were blaming us, he never came forward to defend us. I think we need to warn Mr. Scholar as soon as possible.
Mr. Scholar was in his cabin. Meanwhile, Hilson enters his cabin late.
I have noticed that you were late on your duty for past few days. Why is it so?
I will tell you later. I had some personal work to do. Mr. Scholar, I brought you something.
He handed Mr. Scholar a red letter. Before opening the letter, the telephone started ringing.
Hello?
I know who the killer is. Meet me at St. Clair Avenue.
Alright, I am coming. But what about those photographs that you clicked of mine?
What pictures? I never click pictures. I don't have a camera. Just leave that. Meet me, this is urgent.
Hilson, I will read your letter once we come back. Pierson knows who's the killer.
What? How did he find so quickly?
I don't know, but we should leave as soon as possible.
I need to finish some work. I will join after 10 minutes.
Hilson left as well. Scholar was in a hurry. After driving for 20 minutes, he reached St. Clair Avenue.
Pierson!
He found Pierson drenched in his own blood, and a few feet apart from Pierson, Dr. Gray was lying unconscious. Then suddenly, Hilson was coming towards him, running as he was late again.
Quickly help me to get him to my car.
Hilson and Scholar took Pierson to his vehicle.
You take him to the hospital. I will take Dr. Gray to his house.
Scholar rushed Pierson to the hospital in the last-bit effort to save his life. On the other hand, Hilson safely took Dr. Gray to his house. He decided to stay with Dr. Gray and gave him medicine assistance. While driving, Scholar was wondering who the killer might be.
If Pierson was right about the killer being someone from the police force, then who could it be? If Dr. Gray and Pierson were together, then Dr. Gray would have seen the killer. So by that logic, Dr. Gray will be his next victim. But why was Hilson late? And how did the killer find out about our meeting spot? All the evidences are pointing towards one thing. I cannot believe Hilson is the killer. I need to save Dr. Gray.
After coming to the conclusion, Scholar finally reached the hospital. A couple of hospital staff were about to take Pierson to the emergency room, but the doctor declared him dead. After the immense blood loss, it was impossible to save him. Scholar was astonished after hearing about death, but he still had to save the doctor. He ran towards the reception and called at the police station.
Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Officer Scholar here. I need a backup force right now at doctor's house. Hurry up. Don't be late. We don't have a minute to spend.
Yes, sir. I will inform the police force immediately.
Luckily, the injuries that the doctor suffered was not serious. After aiding him, Hilson went into the doctor's kitchen and brought him a glass of water.
Are you feeling well now? Should I call a doctor?
No need for that. I'm feeling okay.
Did you see who attacked you?
I can't remember anything.
Hilson notices a camera.
Make yourself feel like home. I will come back after changing my clothes.
While the doctor was gone, Hilson started looking around the house when his eyes caught something.
Oh, that is a nice camera. I never knew doctor was interested in photography.
Just beside the camera, there was an envelope. The envelope contained pictures taken with the camera. Out of curiosity, Hilson opened the envelope to take a peek at the pictures, and what he saw startled him.
Why does he have pictures of Mr. Scholar? I need to leave this place.
While making his way out, he tripped over a metal trunk. He saw parts of a red cloth coming out of it. As he opened the trunk, a shiver ran down his spine. It was the clothes of Santa. The same Santa who has been slaughtering innocent people. The same Santa that they had no idea was among them the whole time. Out of nowhere, something hit the back of his head, and all he heard before losing his sense was,
Merry Christmas!
Dr. Gray, are you alright?
HILLSON, open the door, or else we have to break it. Sir, I am breaking the lock.
As soon as they opened the door, they gasped at the horrifying scene. Dr. Harry Gray was sitting there, laughing like a lunatic, and in front of him, there was lifeless body of HILLSON, as his neck was slit with the knife that brought forth the cursed carol. A few days have passed after Harry Gray was arrested on charges of 4 murders.
What explanation did he give?
You can listen to it by yourself.
Why I did it? Funny, you would ask that question. Why should I not? When I first read the diary, I felt disgusted. I never understood why he did such things. But slowly, I became obsessed with it. The diary became my best friend. I had this urge of reading it again and again. It was fascinating. I wanted to feel the pleasure of murdering someone. But there was something that was always bothering me. His story was never complete. It felt incomplete. Although he murdered a few people, none of those felt important. History would have remembered him as just another deranged man who liked murdering. And with time, people will forget his legacy, and I was not going to let that happen. So I had to kill someone. Someone whose death will mean a lot. Someone like Mr. Scholar. So my plan was simple. I had to frame HILLSON as the killer and then strike Scholar when he least expected it. Alas, Pierson found out everything, so I had to kill him first.
This makes my stomach turn.
I think you're getting late for something.
Yes, sir. I need to attend their funeral. See you there.
As the funeral was coming to an end,
Sir, you left something in your cabin.
the officer handed over a Scholar the same red letter which was given to him by Officer John HILLSON.
Hello, sir. I, John. And I know I have not been a great sidekick for the past few days. And I have been arriving late to work, and I was not able to tell you that the reason behind. Because I was planning a surprise Christmas party for you. My family lives on the other side of the country, and I am never able to visit them or see them during Christmas. But you are like a family to me, and you are the closest friend that I have. So I will like to spend my Christmas Eve with you. So I invite you to my house on 25th December. Thank you for being such an inspiring idol to me. Yours sincerely, John HILLSON.
Is it really necessary for you to leave? Sir, it's just been a week after the incident. You are leaving too early. Is there any possibility for you to change your mind?
This place holds a lot of bad memories. And would like to leave this place behind. I will leave at evening.
Scholar was at the outskirts of the town, crossing the bridge that started it all, and then suddenly he saw the outline of a figure standing amidst the fog. And the face was familiar to him. The man was holding knife in his hand. Mr. Scholar got down from the car.
Merry Christmas, scholar.